Have you ever had one of those nights where everything felt perfect until it wasn't? It started off like a celebration should. Light-hearted laughter, wine flowing, dim lights casting a warm glow over the dinner table. A small group of people, suppose friends, co-workers, and family, gathered together. My wife had just been promoted at her firm, and she was absolutely glowing, confident, proud, and rightfully so. I felt proud of her, too. She invited her entire team, including her boss, to our home to celebrate the milestone. I didn't mind. I wanted to support her in every way. I helped clean up, prep the wine, and even wore a blazer I hadn't touched in 2 years, since our anniversary dinner. I wanted everything to be perfect for her. She looked stunning that night, wearing a red dress, simple yet bold, not the kind of thing she wore often, but when she stepped out of the bedroom, I froze for a moment, taken aback by how radiant she looked. She caught me staring and smiled. "Too much?" she asked. "No," I replied, my voice barely a whisper. "Just enough." Everything felt right, at least for a while. The house was filled with lively conversation, the clinking of glasses and the hum of laughter. People were happy. She was radiant, and I stayed mostly quiet, letting her bask in the spotlight she had earned. But then it happened. Her boss, Nathan, stood up. He had a half-empty glass in one hand, wearing that arrogant grin I had come to dread. Everyone turned to him, expecting a toast. What he said, though, changed everything. "Marcus," he said, raising his glass toward me, "you know why your wife got that promotion, don't you?" He paused, letting the words hang in the air before adding, "It's that sexy red dress she wore into the office the other day." A loud laugh followed his words. Alone, the room froze. I tried to process it. Maybe it was a bad joke. Maybe he was drunk. Maybe I misheard him. But then he looked directly at me, and his next word sliced through the air like a blade. "To be fair, though," he continued, "she could wear a trash bag and still look good. You're a lucky man. She's loyal. But for one night, I was ready to double her salary." The world around me seemed to pause. Every sound disappeared, leaving a deafening silence. People turned toward me, and my wife's eyes widened. Her lips parted, but no words came out. She was frozen, just like the rest of them. My fingers tightened around the stem of the wine glass I was holding, and without thinking, without a word, I stood up and walked straight toward him. In one swift motion, I smashed the glass against the side of his head. The room erupted. Gasps, shouts, a woman screamed. Nathan stumbled back, clutching his face. Blood trickled down his temple, and I didn't even blink. I pointed at the door. "Get out." There was no apology, no explanation, just pure shame in his eyes. He left his movements slow and defeated. The rest of the guests followed suit. One by one, they filed out, avoiding eye contact. No goodbyes, just silence and retreat. When it was just the two of us again, I turned to her. I was still shaking, my voice unsteady, but firm. "You are not going back to that job." She looked at me, stunned, her eyes wide in disbelief. "It wasn't my fault, Marcus," she tried to explain. "I don't care." I cut her off. "If you go back there, we're done." She didn't respond, and I could feel the weight of the silence between us, thick and suffocating. The next morning, I woke up to find her ironing clothes, getting ready like nothing had happened. She really thought she could just move past it. "Don't do this," I said quietly, my voice breaking. She didn't even look at me. "I need that job," she muttered, almost like it was an apology. "If you walk out that door, we're finished," I said, my voice cold. We argued. Words flew like daggers, cutting deeper with every exchange. She tried to defend him, telling me he was drunk, that it wasn't that serious. That's when I realized something. Maybe she was more afraid of losing her position than losing her dignity. I left the house. I needed air, time, space to think. By the time I returned that evening, I found her sitting in silence on the couch. She looked at me with glassy eyes. "He fired me," she said, her voice hollow. Nathan, bruised ego and bandaged face, had fired her hours after party. No explanation, no severance, just a quiet, cold dismissal. It wasn't how I wanted her to lose her job, but if I'm honest, I felt a strange sense of relief, because now she saw what I saw, that staying in that toxic environment under Nathan's control wasn't just dangerous, it was soul-killing. It's been a few weeks since then. She's still looking for another job, and we're still figuring things out between us. But every time she opens her laptop, every time she sends out another resume, I see something in her that wasn't there before. A clarity. That night wasn't just about what Nathan said. It was about what we were both willing to accept. And I'm done accepting disrespect, no matter where it comes from.